Dear 12th class students, today we will go through a story titled as The Rightful Inheritors of the Earth, and the author of this story is viakom Mohammed Basheer. And Mohammed Basheer is a prolific writer of Kerala. He has told stories after stories. Basically, he was born in a small village, and he earned fame as a writer with a publication of his short novel Balyakala Sakhi. So he won many awards after that for his writing, including a Padma Shri in 1982. In 1962, the Bashir family moved to a house on a 2-acre plot of land in Baipur. The story is inspired by this event. Our planet Earth has been blessed in many more ways than just one. There are stunning plants, flowers, and animals. Without these flora and fauna, humans cannot exist. So every country, every state, every region, every place has its own natural beauty, its own wonderful flora and fauna. So Allah has created the planet, and humans have, of course, the responsibility of looking after all other creations on the planet. So, life on Earth is established with a natural balance, and Allah has made things and nature. Uh, Allah has made things in nature available for the use of man. So, of course, humans benefit a lot from flora and fauna in regard to source of food, medicine and water. So this story, the rightful inheritors, there are basically two perspectives regarding birds and animals on the farm. So we on the farm can be seen there. One perspective is that the entire earth, including the flora and fauna, is created for man. And in the present time, in this present work, in today's world, it can be seen that the entire earth belongs to just man, and he can exploit it for his own benefit. So this is the dominant perspective. The narrative's wife and her cousin in the story represents this view. That means the entire earth belongs to man, and he can exploit it in his own way. And the other perspective is the belief that the entire beings on earth have equal rights to live, and human beings depend on their surroundings for their survival. Without safeguarding plants and animal life, we have no future. So this is what the narrator believes and wants to convey. The story begins like this. The writer Mohammed Basheer became the owner of 2-acre plot, and he felt that his future was now safe. This plot had coconut palms and an old house which he could renovate, which he could put in a good condition. So during those days, the price of coconut was rising higher, so it was a happy time for them. But then trespassers and interlopers, that means those who are interfere without, those who come to a place without permission, arrived. So interlopers and trespassers here refers to actually birds and butterflies. So these birds and butterflies perched on the branches of the tree and plants. These birds were chirping, and then came these crows. so whose harsh cawing sounds was not tolerable, and they attacked the chicks. Then came hawks and perched on the coconut trees. With same intention, they watched and waited for the opportunity. So these hawks, these crows, they attacked the chicks. They were there. They perched on the coconut trees, and with the same intention, they watched and waited for the opportunity to attack the chicks. So these creatures were there, and then mongooses started living in the bamboo thicket. Foxes had their living places in the shrubbery patch and were ready to pounce on the hens. The author wondered what right these creatures had to be on his land. Then a dignified cobra came on the scene, a fierce creature without hands or legs or wings. The author wanted to tell it to leave that place, to leave his 2 acre land soon. But it had no other place to go. There was no land left. Every inch of the land had been brought. Every inch, every single land has been bought by the people bit by bit. So then author's wife complained that their ripe fruits were being eaten by the squirrels, crows, mongooses, birds, and bats. But the writer replied that it's a beauty. He replied that it's a beauty to see God's creation in different varieties. God Almighty holds the universe together without a single prop. He has created a variety of things for his creatures: fruits, edible roots, grass, green, flowers, water, air, warmth, light. So these creatures, these birds and beasts and insects have the right to the produce of the earth. The writer then thinks that how unfortunate it is that rats have to be killed so that we can live. Can He says that can human beings not survive without destroying other creatures of the earth? So writer says a new idea must come in the minds of the human beings to live without killing other creatures. The author's wife then she went to the market and bought rat poison. It was mixed with banana and kept all over the places. 200 rats, 5 hens, 12 squirrels died. The bad smell spread all over the place. Then the all began to feast a coconut water and its kennel. The writer's wife suggested to buy a gun to shoot bats and foxes. The writer considered shooting the animals and birds with a gun is a sin. At a little distance there was a temple. So there were 2 banyan trees near the temple, and 3,000 bats were hanging on the tree. His wife's cousin came and said that he would kill these birds by shooting them. The author, on the other hand, prayed for their survival. The writer did not want to be a part of this sin. To him, a gun is a symbol of cruelty. Man should never have invented it. This is what he believes. The writer was praying for bats. One day, the author's wife and her cousin they went to shoot these bats, but they returned shamefaced. They were very ashamed because the villagers, around 100 people, surrounded them with lethal weapons as they threatened to kill them if they shot at the bats. The villagers actually they believed that bats were the souls of their ancestors. The author uh, argues that bats are not the souls of their ancestors, but yes, they are among God's creations. They have the right to share the product on the earth. They have this right to be there like human beings. Let us be, he says that he conveys this message to the readers, that let us be satisfied with what we get after they have taken their share. They too are the part of Allah's creation, so creatures, all living creatures are, be whether the animals, whether the plants, whether the different types of animals, birds, they all are living creatures, and they are the rightful owners of the earth. So, this was all about this story, and this story gives us a good moral idea. And the writer wants to convey that man should have love for his fellow creatures. The lesson points out that there is an intimate kinship between all living things. Thank you so much.